Everybody, I'm Erigo Gio, and I know it's been a real long time ever since I made this what if I was reborn as Ben 10's brother. I know it's been a really long time, so I just decided to grant it with the finale. I know it's not gonna be as long as the original first video as I intend to be. I want to make it a little bit of a series, but because I focus too much on the story, not only from Ultimate Aliens, but also from the beginning of Ben 10, I kind of actually realized that I was making the story incredibly short for the next video. So I'm telling you guys that I want to make this story as long as I can. But I'm not promising you that it's gonna be 10 minutes or more. I'm just saying you guys this is gonna be long, but not as long as you think. So yeah. Now, the same thing that happened in Ultimate Aliens will go the same, except that I'll actually keep the master control as I will have it thanks to Azimuth. Now, I actually report the master control to only apply to me and me alone, which practically supplies Azimuth how his Omnitrix is practically now in full control of my own. Of course, Azimuth does decide to actually tell me about that this Omnitrix is actually halfway perfected. It just needs a little bit of a piece. I wonder what the azimuth means, but eventually he would have given me the ultimate crystal, which probably can allow me to upgrade more than one alien in their ultimate forms, and I don't have to waste any energy. Alongside, I can transform into it as long as I wish to. With me, of course, thanking Azimuth about this. Without wishing me good luck to Ben, take care of Ben. Of course, I'll nod to Azimuth and tell him that I'll do my best to protect my brother. With, of course, Azimuth nodding. Eventually, I will continue my training so I can increase my own normal strength, knowing that in my regular form I'm not as strong, nor as Ben, but if we train together, we became incredibly strong. I'm also likely to say that in comparison to Dragon Ball universes, we're most likely able to scale to Goku in the beginning of the Saiyan Saga, which is pretty impressive for both of us, but I'm superior to Ben because of my training being much more harsher. Because of this, I will say that my alien forms are actually stronger than Ben, and I'm much more experienced in it. I can also go into Ultimate way big at any moment at any time as well. Having access to it, I practically have immense control over my transformations. Eventually, the Ultimate Alien series will once again go the same as the original, except that I'll actually wield Escalon instead of Ben. Because I'll actually know about Escalon, eventually, when the Dagon's power eventually, I was able to actually put down a Dagon when Vegas absorbed his power, eventually able to contain the Dagon's power inside Ascalon. Of course, instead of Ben practically taking responsibility, it will actually be me instead, because I'm much more responsible than Ben, but I've also teach Ben how to take his own responsibility of power in something that is beyond strength. Of course, Vegas was trying to say the same thing they says to Ben in the original, but I'll explain to Vegas that I don't need his power. I'm very powerful because I can access something beyond this Ascalon and Diane's power. Ultimate Alien X. That's right. I, unlike Ben, can access Ultimate Alien X. Now, I've seen many theories about Alien X being too much powerful for his own right. But because I have access to the Ultimatrix and fully mastery over the Alien X, I'm also able to control Ultimate Alien X at my disposal. Eventually, most of the events of the Ultimate Ben time will finish the same, with Ben of course getting his new Omnitrix. I also explained to Ben to not hit too hard because it will most likely cause defunctions to the Omnitrix, with Ben of course nodding, realizing how clumsy he can be at some times. Remember in the past when I told him to not be clumsy. With of course me telling Ben to take this seriously. Eventually we will actually end up in the Plunger's Academy. We're of course able to make the rookie Rook. Yeah, I don't know how is that even related, so yeah. Of course, me being much more of an expert in Rook, I will most likely explain almost everything. But of course, me able to acknowledge Rook's improvements. I'll even be quite impressed by him able to turn a regular bus that our grandpa has to practically a spaceship, which is practically impressive. I'll actually show him my motorcycle, which can practically transform into a small spaceship, which can fly to space and actually almost travel at light speed. I also practically created from one of my smartest aliens like Grey Matter and even Frankenstein, which I'll call my transformations. So yeah. Of course, I will most likely able to practically create the Biometrics. But unlike the original Biometrics, I can actually use my Ultimatrix with the Biometrics by having one side of the Biometrics while having the normal Biometrics fused with my Ultimatrix. Combine the Ultimate Biometrix. By the way, I can combine two Ultimate modes together, like ultimate humongousaur and ultimate forearms combining together into ultimate humongousaurus, practically making me as strong, not even as stronger than practically atomics, which is an incredibly powerful alien who can convert atomic energy. And I can already, and if you guys are wondering, yes, I can actually increase my size. I can increase my size, my regular size in my ultimate humongousaurus is at a height of 70, and I can increase it to 100, which practically will multiply my strength by 50 times, practically making me 50 times stronger to even handle someone like way big, which is practically pretty impressive to say the least. So yeah, if I can lift at least 1 million pounds of weight, which is pretty darn impressive to say the least. Of course, Ben wanted to do that, but I told him that in the future he may be able to do this. And of course, to me, most likely I'll actually decide to keep the biometrics a secret code that I can only use and nobody else. If someone tries to steal my biometrics or even try to recreate the biometrics that has been created by someone or someone else by same information using my own, you most likely will instantly self-destruct itself, so it cannot be created by anyone except myself. So yeah. Eventually, the Nemetrix will still be created. If you're wondering, just like in Omniverse explains about the Nemetrix, I'm most likely able to prevent most events of the Nemetrix original timeline happening because of me being there. So yeah. And because of me also being influenced, I'm most likely able to actually deal with malware. In my ultimate form, most likely will look like malwares, except that it actually is much more different. Instead of actually having a blaster in one hand, it's actually two sharp hands who can practically absorb anything in or even copy it and create a much more powerful variation of it, like a weapon or even a technology, which is practically much more superior to any upgrades that exist, which probably makes me even superior. Of course, I'll most likely visit the Yazmod multiple times and his home planet to help him with some things that he must do. Of course, me and Ben will easily able to deal with some of the villains that Ben is doing in the past. So yeah, well, of course, most likely we bond with our relationship. So yeah, if we're for attention, this princess, I'm gonna say that I'll actually date her. Yeah, I'm practically into strong moments in this timeline. Well, I'm also getting that my own Tetramentus form, we're able to even go to its ultimate stage, which will practically surprise all Tetramentus because they have never seen an ultimate variation of their species. Let me explain about how the Ultimatrix is practically way superior to the original Omnitrix. Even though Ben has much more better control over them, I practically can transform into ultimate variations of a superior race like Tetramentus. Which might surprises the princess she actually wants to marry me instead of Ben. Which I'll actually not deny. Of course, I'll tell her that we must become at least the proper age, or at least me, so we can get married. Well, of course, her accepting it since she doesn't see the problem with it. Which can actually, Ben actually be surprised by me agreeing to this. I told him that, I mean, it's not like I hate strong women, so yeah. Eventually, the Celestials, you could say, celestial species, the species of alien X will most likely still accused of Ben doing the same thing. If you're wondering, I most likely became an alien X like Ben, but instead of me recreating the universe, it will most likely be Ben, so I'm not doing anything. But instead, I'll actually decide to face the bound between. I actually decided to use Ultimate Alien X so I can see where the battle will go. But of course, Ben's still getting his ass pummeled, but eventually he's able to practically defeat the cosmic champion. But eventually, after the end of the vote, I'll actually reveal my ultimate Alien X, a superior variation of the celestial species. But to show me that I'm much more superior and strong than all of them combined. With my ultimate Alien X form, I'm the more powerful, and I'm practically the universe, and if not even the megaverse and multiverse itself. I can practically bind everything and anyone to my will. I can do anything. I can be a god. But I just decided to be against it. I'll just tell the social species to never intervene with me, mine, and Ben's work ever again. If they do, I'm gonna permanently erase half of, of their civilization if they don't comply. And of course, social species instantly agreeing to my terms because they know that they cannot match my power. Not even a glimpse of 1%. Which finally shows how strong I have become. Eventually, most of them the Omniverse series will most likely go the same, with me, of course, interfering with some parts and making it a lot better, with me, of course, helping Ben as well. Also, we almost like would have dealing with Ghost Recon in the past, which I'll easily able to destroy him using my Ultimate Analytics form to just erase him from existence, so he can never pose a threat ever again. Of course, both me and Ben will most likely get the new form variation of Stormfire, with me actually not getting the same disease as Ben does, with me just getting some bubbles around my arm. Just me being confused on why I actually had that. Eventually, the multiverse, you could say, or universe, is practically created the same as the original, with Ben, of course, still saving the universe by himself, with me, of course, watching him. Eventually, if you're wondering what happens to future Ben in the crossover between timelines of Ben, most likely there will actually be a crossover of myself as well, due to me existing in the main timeline, so actually kind of affect the other timelines as well. Like Ben 23 will most likely exist Martin 23, with Martin 23 actually trying to help Ben to be much more responsible than his bright self should be. And for Gwen 10, it almost like that Martin 10 almost like he would try and tell her to bring out the archers, but after realizing that she cannot take it off, she decides to help her and be a hero. So yeah. With naturally at one point both me and Ben will actually meet our future selves. So with me actually meeting my own future self, it revealing the true ultimate biometrics, which apparently confuse three aliens at the same time, if not use one part of the aliens at the same time as well. Which I'd be surprised that we can actually access to Anadot's stage, like our grandmother actually showed us. Which I'd be surprised that in the future I actually can access this form, which would be quite surprising for me to know. With my future self always telling me that, yeah. Eventually, if you're wondering, my son, who's a half determinist, half human, also has his own arm tricks. I'll actually not actually be against having his own arm tricks. If you're wondering, no, he doesn't have four arms. He only has two arms, but his skin is kind of reddish, but he's also naturally stronger than any regular human. He's not stronger than me, nor his mother, but he's pretty powerful in his own right. If you're wondering, him and Ken, who's the son of Ben, will most likely be best friends and allies when it comes to training. With me, of course, accepting Ken as being a time traveler. I actually know about him in the time travel worked with Paradox. With, of course, Ken trying to keep it a secret, with me telling that I already knew that from the start. And I know that Ben will be proud of him. With, of course, Ken being happy that I support him. And eventually, yeah, practically most of the events that happens and the events in the future should happen did not actually happen because of me practically intervening with it and changing it. And everything just goes pretty smooth, you could say. And guys, I guess this is the end. I actually never expected that I'll actually make it a 12 minutes video. Wow. Well guys, make sure to like, subscribe, check out my channel, and never miss a new video when it comes out. See you next time, my DC fans, and my Ben 10 fans. See you next time.